I just thought of a great idea while Jax was giving his heartfelt message about how we're being nice, and I'm going to completely do the opposite. Guys, do you think that I should start running Battle for Bikini Bottom right now and just run the fucking category and submit it to GDQ? Should I do this?
Fuck yeah. Do it.
Yeah. Do you need me to buy you a copy? And you know what they say, real G's move in silence like lasagna.
I don't know what that means. That was terrible, though. I think we should all shine
That's a Lil Wayne lyric.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Lil Wayne lyric.
One time I was talking to my mom
Isn't
about
that like from the
acne.
Carter 2 or Carter 3? Anyway.
I don't remember.
The Carter 3 is not as good as the Carter 2, guys. It just
one of them.
isn't. It just isn't.
Is
as
there
good.
really a song called Pussy Monster?
Okay, there is. It's awful. I'm just saying,
that's
guys.
a crazy ass song.
Holistically, we need to stop doing this revisionist history about the Carter 3 and how it's it's not. I know you all were saying that Carter 3 was bad. I just listened to that album. There is so much mid on that album. The peaks on that album are higher than the peaks of the Carter 2. Yes, I'll give you that. Fucking, like, I get it, okay? It's got Amelia on it. Like, it's got, like, come on. It got Mrs. Officer. We get it. The peaks are higher. But as a whole album, front to back, not skipping a song, the Carter 2 is just better. It's, like, not even close either.
That's
like
better.
Carter 2 is like a 9 or a 10, and then the Carter 3 is like a 7. Like, it's at least 2 stops down. It's a 7 or 8. I'm just saying, it's not close. Y'all talking about it's close. It's not. It has Pussy Monster. It's automatically down a point off that song by itself.
I don't know, man. That's pretty ballsy to have a song called The Pussy Monster.
It's horrific. Just look up the lyrics, man. You'll get the picture. You don't need to listen to
you know
that
what?
shit.
I kind of want to look up what this song is even about.
Is it because the song is bad or because you're misogynistic? Because you're
the song is bad. The song is just bad.
Is the Pussy Monster like a dick?
Honestly,
like, is that the point?
I kind of
no. It's just him being like, I'm really
Nestani.
horny and I want pussy, and I'm like, that's
I
cool.
got a sweet tooth.
But it's like Beyonce
Oh, like
for
the
me.
Cookie Monster, but for pussy.
Yeah,
Yes, that
like
is
the
literally
Cookie
the
Monster.
thesis of the song. That is the whole thing. Yeah, and
Girl, you cold, let me suck out your flu.
yeah, that is that dude.
You heard a salt and pepper? Well, girl, you food. You hot like a bowl of hot stew. What the hell?
This is your goat. This is Jaxler said that. Jaxler said that the Carter 3 is better than the Carter 2. I'm just bringing this up again, and I'm just saying this is
crazy,
highly
bro.
devaluing his opinions on rap music as we speak. I'm just saying.
We
just forgot the song existed.
He wants to
here's
phone
another
a
alert
friend.
from Cole.
No, I do not want to. I do not want to phone a
Put
friend.
that pussy in my face every time I face you. It goes PUSSY because it's the reason I'm alive. Mama, I need it to stay alive. It's like I gotta eat it just to survive.
That is
that
the
refrain?
exact lyric that I came into focus on when I was listening to the song. And I was like, what am I listening to? It was like a minute into the song. I was just like, what is going on?
I would like to make an updated statement.
Okay.
The Carter 2 is better than the Carter 3.
Even though nobody asked, we delivered. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We have finally decided that the Carter 2 is better because it just is. My name is Nestani.
I am Jaxler.
I'm DECosmic.
What's up with that sassy head flip? Ooh.
I had to crack my
Girly
neck at the same
combination.
time.
Okay, all right.
Coley popped me. Pussy
I'm
Monster
Coley.
Nation.
Oh, okay. And TFX Mortal has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. That is right.
No,
TFX
we're
Mortal
starting with
has
this?
done it
Okay.
again. He has ruined not one speed game, but 2. He's done it twice. That's my goat. Okay, but this time it's for a game that deserved it to be ruined. Okay, we're talking about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. And I have...
We are talking about the melee of speedrunning.
I have a
speedrunning.
word association game real quick before we start. It's specifically for Jaxler. Jaxler, you know what a word association game is, right? I say tree, you say?
Leave.
Okay, cool. So we're going to start. Car.
Tire.
Battery.
Pack.
Lamp.
Like lamp as in like the...
Lamp.
Did you say lamp? Light bulb.
Shift.
Or shade.
Missed your opportunity to say bitch. Anyway, so we're going to be starting this podcast off strong, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy!
I don't know what the fuck is going on. All I know is that TFX Mortal has done it again. He has ruined another video
Right.
game. I couldn't be happy.
Wait, do you want me to explain it, or do you want to explain
Either or, but I would just like to start off
Weren't you
by
in the call with him when he found it?
I have an interesting story about this.
It all started in the summer of 1969.
Yeah, in 1907.
When the country of Wales was founded.
There was I was going to bed, and it was really late at night. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'll keep my alarm on, and if I feel awake enough, then I'll get up at my usual time. But if not, maybe I'll just sleep in for like an hour or something like that. And my alarm went off, and I keep my I keep my phone here, so then I have to get up and walk to my phone. And when I got to my phone, Mortal sent me a message about an hour before I woke up saying, it said something along the lines of, Shift is going to be so pissed, dude. I just found something. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm awake. And so I was, as far as I know, the only other person that knew for a very brief period of time that Mortal discovered pause storage in Battle for Bikini Bottom. But it's only on the PS2 version, which is
Shout
considered
us to the PS2 baby. Let's
the worst
go.
version.
The fucking best console for a reason,
yes,
motherfucker.
sir.
Well,
Let's fucking go, dude.
So it's hilarious too because for one, obviously it's the PS2, so it has the slowest loads out of all the versions.
Yeah.
But, there's a great video actually that a good friend of mine, Glitch Doctor, did about this whole situation that I'll probably link like in a comment under this episode on the YouTube VOD.
Or you have the login, you could just put it in the description.
That is also true. I do have the login.
You could also just send it to me, and I could put it
That
in.
also works too.
And then also post it in the comments. There you go.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think YouTube allows links in comments.
Cringe.
Oh, maybe not.
But anywho,
What do you mean cringe? I think that's good. All the porn bards just posting
Yeah.
their OnlyFans link. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. They don't allow that.
we need the engagement, bro. We need this.
I make better videos than MKBHD. Please click on that comment was so good.
Real.
Anyway, I'm not supposed to be
my
talking
God.
right now. I'm just listening.
Yeah, so PS2, obviously the loads are slower, but also because of like every time like one of Heavy Iron's like games, like Frights is the same way, where it's like each console has like a little bit of different weirdness going on, and for the PS2 version of Battle, like walking in straight lines is like fucking impossible. Just because there's just weird, because of the way that input pulling works for DualShock 2s with that game specifically, it's obnoxious. And there are a lot of tricks with BFBB that require you to be in like the right fucking spot. So if you're trying to like do a lineup and hold forward, sometimes you holding forward means you'll hold forward for a bit and then you squiggle like off to one side. And it's dog shit. It's actually a valid complaint. It's like actually valid dog shit.
Yeah,
But
no,
also,
that
like-
sounds pretty valid.
Yeah, and then also it's like, you know, the loads are super long and things like that. But then also like this trick, how it works is that you do pause storage in a level, right? And then every other level in the game like resets. So it's like if you've collected all these spatulas in other levels, I'm putting this very, very simply here.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does the
Not
speedrun
talking
work,
about
by the way, for
the
people
runner,
that don't
yeah.
know?
Yeah, we
yeah.
should probably
We're not
get some
talking about-
background
Yeah.
on that one.
We're talking about the
Yeah,
other
no,
people
I
that
can
don't
actually.
know
You know what,
what the game
Cole? I'll give you back. I can let you leapfrog after, but like just to give you an idea of Battle for Bikini Bottom, obviously, like 3D collectathon platformer.
So it's like Mario
golden
64?
spatulas, stars, and
It's
64.
exact, yeah, very
Okay.
similar.
I'm
So-
here.
And so you need there's 100 stars in the game. You need 75 to beat the game. Okay, or reach the final boss.
This sounds very similar to Mario 64. I'm just saying, 120,
Yeah.
Crazy,
70.
isn't it?
Whoa. Interesting. Are the Iron
Suspicious.
Studios?
Yeah, very, very, very cool and interesting. So these golden spatulas, right? They're the power stars, right? So imagine every time you do like this glitch, like it's making like you do Womp's Fortress, then you do this glitch, and then all of the stars in Womp's Fortress become pick upable again and count for your power star total for like
Oh,
opening them.
that's OP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
it's
pretty
extremely
OP.
overpowered.
And it's
Oh,
worth
that's sick.
So it's worth noting as well that this glitch and this behavior already existed in the SpongeBob movie game, which is basically the sequel to BFBB. It was found there first on the GameCube version. and the any percent run makes use of that. And basically, you're playing like the same couple of missions over and over and over again, and then just duplicating them, because doing that process is a lot faster than like actually playing
the game legitimately.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that if you ever go to the SpongeBob movie leaderboards, that's why the main category is no pause storage and not any percent, because no pause storage actually plays like a more traditional like
you actually play the
speedrun
game versus
Yeah.
right. So now basically the same exactly. So the same thing has happened for Battle for Bikini Bottom on only specifically the PS2 version. It's worth noting as well that for this glitch works, I think, on GameCube and Xbox for the movie game, only PS2 for BFBB.
Yeah.
And that is because of a very specific property of the PS2 version of the game, again, because each version of it has a little difference.
Yeah, it really just had to do with, like, for some reason, like, when you eject the memory card, it, like, has a particular prompt that comes up, which then, like, kind of, like, disrupts the normal sequence of events when you're, like, saving the game and, like, loading the game and stuff like that, so you're interrupting that.
Did you say memory card?
So,
is this just pause storage from Frights on the PS2?
Well, no,
Did
so
you just
that's
do
exactly, it's sort of like a weird combination of the two pause storages, because there was Night of 100 Frights, and then there's BFBB, and then there's movie. And it acts more like movie in the sense of what it does in game, but how you activate it is very similar. The nice thing, though, about BFBB pause storage, though, is the fact that you can't quit the game accidentally. As far as I know, you can't quit the game while you're trying to do it. But yeah, so it becomes a very repetitive thing, and so like
it's a lot more lenient too, right? Like, because you're pulling out the memory card while the save is trying to happen, and the PS2 takes fucking forever to save. So
yeah, and it's weird though, because it's like you have to collect a spatula while you die, and then when you load in, you unplug the memory card. It's like this whole kit and caboodle thing, and so like, I was like amazed that Mortal found this. And so before he posted it in the Discord, we were kind of like wondering, like, how is the community going to react to this? And Mortal pretty much spot on predicted exactly how the community was going to act on it. And he was like, so here's what I think they're going to do this. They're going to split the category, which I think that was sort of obvious to begin with. But, and this is, as far as I know, what they're still going to do. They're going to have any percent Xbox/GameCube, and then any percent PlayStation 2. And there's a bunch of different arguments and things like that as to why they're doing it like that instead of pause storage and no pause storage. Some I think are more credible than others. I think the most credible thing possibly that comes to the top of my mind is everybody's concerned about backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 3. Yeah. And actually just yesterday, as of recording this, without pause storage, the world record holder Shift was trying to get a sub 40 in the game. But just yesterday, with pause storage on PS3, he got a sub 30. So that glitch. And it's really funny because when we were like, Mortal and I were sort of just watching like people play with this glitch in like a call. And it's so funny because they were kind of in denial at first. I feel like there were some runners who were like, they were kind of like, there's no way this could be faster. The loads are too slow. Like there's no way. And it's so much faster. It's so fast that their main like huge movement tech that I feel like is like one of the biggest things that draws people to the game is cruise boosting, where you use the bubble bowl and the cruise bubble at the exact same time, and you create just like this speed boost so you can go through every level. But this glitch invalidates that. It invalidates so much speedrun tech by just having you duplicate.
Because you don't have to get the cruise bubble anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to get the cruise bubble. I think they changed the route when they went on backwards compatibility PS3. So I don't know if you still get the bubble bowl or not, but that was just so you get a bunch of shinies to give it to Mr. Krabs. It's crazy.
I wonder how fast this could be on like HDD if you were on like an HDD on PS2. Because it tends to be faster.
Is that actually faster on average?
Yeah, so I have a pretty small sample size, but for example on Devil Kings, Maxi runs off a disc on the PS3, and I run that game off of a hard drive on the PS2. and my loads are faster than his.
Interesting. Okay, because that's the other thing too. Is like I think for fairness' sake, like and like the Balfour Bikini Bottom community already does like hard drive load off of Xbox for a whole bunch of different reasons. So low key, I kind of hope they consider that for PS2 as well, because like one of the annoying things for those who don't know about backwards compatible PS3s is they are very prone to exploding, for lack of a better term. Like they just have a lot of mechanical faults and problems, and they're also wickedly expensive because a lot of them broke. So finding one that works is really tough.
And isn't there also like 52 different PS2s that all load differently as well, which is also annoying? So hard drive loads are just objectively better pretty much all the time forever.
Yeah.
Smile.
Pretty much. Yeah.
For the most part. Some boards, but there are some games.
There are some boards that do. There are some boards that do OPL, and other boards don't really fuck with it. So, you know, it is what it is.
But
yeah, and I mean, if we want to go down certain rabbit holes or not, about like what our thoughts are, Jax, on like the leaderboard decisions and stuff like that. Not that anything has happened yet as of recording this.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, even with the PS3 weirdness and stuff like that, they're still going to have combined boards for backwards compatible PS3 and PS2. So they're not going to be separated in any way. But the whole thing is just very like, it's kind of like funny if you're not in the community, but if you're in the community, I can see why you're pretty mad. It's like a completely different way to play the game, and it's like if you're into like movement tech and stuff like that, then this is just not really going to be your cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like hold on, I just have one. Dude, this is my favorite thing about this whole thing is that it just completely invalidates movement tech. And that's like exactly what happened in Frights, and that's the reason I don't play the fucking game anymore. It's just so funny. It's just so, and I'm so glad.
Because of the pause storage warping?
No, because of Creepy Early, and there's like snacks is the thing keeping that.
And now it doesn't matter anymore.
Snacks don't matter, so therefore your movement doesn't really matter that much. Like it really invalidates movement in that game. Anyway, it's a whole different can of worms. But I'm just so happy that other people get to experience my pain, and I just go fuck yourselves. Also, fuck Shift. Anyway, go ahead.
It's kind of so there's actually some weird like irony in this. So the person who found pause storage in Scooby-Doo was Rubbertoe, and he is a BFBB speedrunner. But the person who found BFBB pause storage is Mortal, who is a Scooby speedrunner. So there's like a whole bunch
of
the
like, turns have tabled.
I know. There's a whole bunch of weird like parallels and things like that.
Time is a flat circle, bro. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. It's been very interesting to just like watch like how the community is reacting to it, how the top runners are reacting to it, what they're gonna do. I'm curious to see, even though I think I already know what they're gonna do. And I mean, if we want to get into that, then I'll say my personal opinions. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of just glad I'm not a BFBB runner right now. But I mean, I'm sure that
I've been in that boat for a long time, but that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, I'm sure the PS2 fans are happy though.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jolly Zigzagoon, pal PS2 enjoyer.
Dude, I should just learn this route and like get like second or something like that, and just submit it to GDQ. That would be so funny.
Dude,
that would be so funny.
Wait, please do it. Please do it. I need a so
do it. Well, no, do it on
so bad, man. Please,
dude. Just submit a time on. Well, just submit a submission on OPL, and you'll have like a sub 20 time or some bullshit. You know.
I'm just saying.
I'm like, just saying, man.
I think I'm just more so in an interesting spot, because you know I'm a lot closer, and I would consider myself a lot more part of the SpongeBob movie community, compared to, or in the Truth or Square community as well. But that's kind of its own thing, as far as like with regards to this whole pause storage thing, right? And we already have kind of gone through that sort of thing when that kind of pause storage got found, and it allowed that kind of like duping sort of stuff. So this is kind of not my first rodeo when it comes to that. And like the thing that I hope for more so is that like if people aren't interested in speedrunning that category because they don't think it's cool or they want to do the movement tech, great. That's cool. What I just hope doesn't happen is that people aren't discouraged from trying it or messing around with it or pushing the envelope on it. Because sometimes what I notice, not even just in the battle community, but in the SpongeBob community, and even in some of the other communities I've been, when something like this gets found that like kind of warps the way you think about the game a lot, it like people tend to have like this really kind of like dismissive, pessimistic attitude about it and like discourage people from playing it or messing around with it. Elitism is a way you could put it. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, people are going to have whatever reaction they're going to have, and that's, you know, chill. But, you know, it's one thing to have a reaction, and then it's also to try to, like, because you can have all kinds of impulses and reactions to information that, you know, aren't necessarily based in like, for example, I am really insecure about the way I look. And that's not necessarily something that, you know, is grounded or not grounded in reality. That's just an impulse that comes into my head. It's what you do with that that's really the important thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I'm gonna
hold on. I have something to say.
Okay.
I think just to kind of yes, and your point and give an example. I think a good example of this is a game that you have run, which is Neopets' Darkest Fairy, where you have cloak and no cloak. So for those that don't know, cloak is basically a thing where you can basically like fly through a wall with like an item in the game, right? And so they split the boards between cloak and no cloak for a long time, and because people were encouraged to run no cloak used to be far slower than cloak for a very, very long time. And then recently
it was a challenge run essentially.
Yeah. And then recently in the past like year or two, there's been a lot of no cloak things. So basically TLDR is that no cloak is actually faster than cloak now, which is actually really
pretty
cool.
Significantly.
And the run is also kind of cool to watch as well. So like basically what he's saying with this is that like, hopefully people don't, you know, dig on, I mean, it's already faster, so it's not apples to apples, but like still there can be new innovation and maybe like more shit gets found out of running this specific category that could maybe tie back into another category or et cetera, or just in general just push the game down further because it's always fun,
or find something funny. Like,
you know what I mean?
Pause storage has led to some really weird fucking shit before in some of these heavy iron games. I mean, just the noise that it makes when you do pause storage in Scooby is fucking hilarious, and that's not necessarily a speed thing. So it's like, you know, it would be, you know, it'd be cool to see what is possible with this, you know. But.
Anyway, so now shit on all of our dreams. Cole, go ahead.
So the thing is that I'm basically shitting on your dreams. So what happened after the sub 30 is
understandable.
It pretty much is confirmed that Shift basically did say, he wants to make the leaderboards so that the category dies. He literally said that. And honestly, a lot of how the conversation has been going with this trick is admittedly disappointing to someone on the outside like me, because, you know, they call the route slop. They joke about it being slop all the time. And just when it was first found, like when Mortal posted it in the Discord, a lot of people were like, no way, this is crazy. And then when people started playing it, like this kind of narrative of it being like this totally garbage speedrun sort of came into view, and they call like the old, like the original route without pause storage, the no pause storage. They're like, that's the real run. But then, you know, there's some weird friction because some people are like, well, wait a minute. This, if there's just any percent, this is it. This is the fastest way you can beat the game. You can't just ignore that. And so some people have said also that, like, well, in the history of the game, like, it's never been on the PlayStation 2 or whatever, so that's why we need the category split. And there's like a whole, and those reasons I think are stupid. And even if like the naming convention of like why it's not no pause storage and pause storage, but instead it's separated by console, it just seems really grimy.
I mean, it just seems pretty black and white. Like, I think it should just be no pause storage. They should just copy what Movie or Truth or Square is, where like no pause storage is the main one, right? So you just have
it would future-proof it kind of too.
Yeah, because like what we did with Frights before we switched it was we had no CE as the main board, and then we switched it over eventually, you know, after new things got found and people got better and et cetera, right?
Yeah.
But I think even with the literal identical to game with the, is it Truth or Square? Am I correct about that?
Movie is the one with the pause storage.
So Movie, like if you land on Movie's page, you just click on SpongeBob Movie, it's any percent no pause storage, right? And then there's a tab or whatever for pause storage rather than no pause storage, right? So they could. It feels pretty obvious for me. For BFBB,
you can encourage people to engage with something first.
Yeah, it's like
that's chill.
Yeah, whatever the homepage is, they can still have the homepage be no pause storage, battle for beginning bottom, right? But also 80% still 80%. It's like how you go to like a lot of the Pokemon leader, like Fire Red, for example. Like the main board is 80% glitchless, even though they have Ace in the game. But people don't think that's as cool as just running the game normally, and so it's not the main board and it's not the landing page. So they can still make that whatever they want, but they should just have it be called no pause storage and pause storage. I think that's pretty obvious.
I think the other thing too, and this is kind of just like a side thing before I throw it back to Cole.
Because also, what if pause storage gets found on
Xbox?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Then you're gonna have to change the thing anyway. You might as well just use
because that's what happened to Movie.
That's
what happened to Movie because it was originally only found on GameCube, and then later down the road, someone figured out a way to get it to trigger on Xbox. So we future-proofed it by just calling it 80%.
Yeah, or 80% no pause storage and pause storage, basically.
Exactly right. Yeah. But something I just want to like bring up and make very clear, because I feel like this has had a history of happening when people look from the outside, and you could honestly at this point consider me on the outside fringes of the battle community as well. With regards to like kind of looking at like the opinions and even just like movings of what's going on in the community. And like something I want to make like really, really clear about how the dynamics work in that space is with the way it's centralized around Shift, a lot of it is kind of Shift creating a narrative and then either like, and then like the friction or the way that people handle their response to that narrative. Right. So I want to be very careful and not, and this is not just a battle. This is a thing in a lot of communities that have like either a really top runner or like old heads sometimes where it's just like, we might talk about whatever a current narrative is that doesn't necessarily describe like who's pushing the narrative, and also like just to make it clear like on behalf of all four of us that we're not like trying to paint broad strokes about like what is like having our thumb on the pulse of the community, because it's a lot more complicated than just like
but
side
I
A
am
thinks this, side B thinks that. You are stroking. That is correct.
Yeah, as we speak, I'm doing the Aspen Gold Challenge.
Thank you for your contribution to November.
I just think it's really funny that somebody that's not good enough at competitive fighting games has to control the narrative on a single player game so they can feel important, I guess.
True. Guys, I just thought of a great idea while Jax was giving his heartfelt message about how we're being nice, and I'm going to completely do the opposite. Guys, do you think that I should start running Battle for Bikini Bottom right now and just run the fucking category and submit it to GDQ? Should I do this?
Fucking do it.
Yeah. Do you need me to buy you a copy?
Take the target off my back, please.
I think this could be generational.
This could be generational.
And then I submit it to GDQ, and I'm like, hey guys, crazy new finding in Battle for Bikini Bottom, guys.
So what I've been running this game for years. So the thing that I will say is it's always a bummer when like a leader of a community like discourages or paints certain categories like as slop. And I mean, I've been guilty of like saying that this tech well, let me explain this tech in DMC4, where you hit Alt Enter and you cause the game to lag, and then you can actually like clip out of bounds with it. And it's only on like the Windows version.
Oh.
And it's like, I think it's pretty dog shit. I've been pretty vocal about it.
Oh, wait, Alt Enter, that means you're like, fuck, no, that's not fire.
You're making it go into window mode, and then...
Never mind.
Yeah, because you're causing it to lag. Yeah,
that's stupid.
So, I've said before that I don't think it takes any skill, right? But, am I gonna like, say, did I decide to construct the board so that like the category where you don't do that is the default category? No, because I said, well, this is what the top runners are doing. So the category that you land on when you go to DMC4's page is the category where you can do that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, look, I might have a lot of time in this game, but I'm not the one currently pushing it. So it's not up to me to decide what the landing page is, right?
Yeah.
Now, Shift is in a spot where he can't really play anything else at this point, like in terms of speed running, So And what I will say is like I saw something similar in DMC Reboot where there was like there's a ton of fucking out of bounds tech in DMC Reboot. And they used to be like kind of sectioned off from the rest of us. They had like their own Discord and everything. And all they did was run like New Game Plus with a super costume that gave you unlimited Devil Trigger. And the Devil Trigger in that game makes it so that enemies fucking suspend in the air. And they didn't do any glitches. So you were essentially doing this very fast Let's Play where enemies outside of bosses stood still the entire time. And you just did like regular movement tech the whole time. And you did that for like an hour and 20 minutes.
That's really
and
good.
I think that's pretty whack, to be honest. You know, and instead of encouraging people to like explore the game, they were just like, oh no, we all like the one person that was on the mod team was just like, no, I'm just gonna have this be the landing page. And so eventually when I ended up taking over the boards with this guy, because a bunch of like that whole community shifted and like there were some new runners that came in. One day I just kind of changed the tabs, I'm going to be so honest. And so now like new game is just the default tab. Default. And he hasn't logged in to like do anything in like years. Crazy. So I'm like, okay, sure. Cause he like fought me tooth and nail on it. And I was like, look, dude, the community's running new game like glitched now. Yeah. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like maybe we can have a conversation about different patches, you know, but well, number one, like somebody that just types with every single first letter of a word capitalized,
they should.
That's
die.
just like
that's serial killer behavior. It
was a little strange. And I'm not going to name this person, obviously,
John Legend,
because I don't think that they're
273X.
I don't think that they're a bad person. I think that they're just used to being able to craft leaderboards to their taste, and I don't think that's how leaderboards should work.
Yeah.
You know, I've always kind of been a proponent of like, let the game be the game. And if the game is not the game that you want it to be anymore, then you need to find a different category or you just need to leave. And I've left like dozens of boards and I've left dozens of games behind.
Yeah.
That just don't appeal to me anymore. I remember, what is it? Like I played Darksiders 3 and I like joined the Discord and I was like really excited to actually try and run that game. And like a bunch of glitches in it got found and I was like, so do we like, are we going to talk about like glitchless or like no major skips? And I got met with a lot of like combative language, like, well, what would you define as major? And I was like, I feel like skipping a whole dungeon is pretty major. You know?
Maybe I'm just
and
crazy.
So, you know, but I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't my scene. This ain't my game. So I'm just gonna go on out, you know? And I just bowed out. And I will say that the way that run is now is quite cool to watch. Yeah. It's like 20 minutes and they kill all the bosses. One of them, they actually deload the AI and shit. It's pretty crazy.
But here's the thing, though, is they missed out on an opportunity to welcome you into their community because of the way they shaped their attitude.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't feel like you have to, personally, I think that every community should be welcoming. So like I could have done without the combative language.
Sure.
But if somebody had said like, well, we don't really know the extent of what all this is going to do. So let's wait until like more things are fleshed out before we have that conversation. I'd have been like, you know what? Fair enough. You know, and I could have also just on my end, right? The burden of proof was on me to say, this is what I think is no major skips. This is what I think is glitchless. Let me actually do runs. And I didn't do that. Right. Yeah. I didn't enact my end of the bargain that I often request of people when I'm on leaderboards, which is, well, if you want a category, you need to run it. I'm still waiting on a request from somebody for 2 years ago where they were like, hey, can I do all the challenges in a row and have it as a category? And I said, yeah, go ahead and do a run for it. And I see that guy every Wednesday in person. And every 6 months or so, I often ask him, so what happened to this category? And he's like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, all right, that's fine, I guess. You know, but so it's just it's a little whack to me. And I mean, I think that also it just depends on, people need to realize that like interests kind of shift, right? And like in Vanquish recently I went back to it, but when I got into Vanquish, Okay, I didn't mean for that joke, but it's fine.
He has single-handedly ruined that word for me.
So
like
funny.
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
fair. Yeah. Jaxler's like, I can no longer use that key. I have to use caps lock.
Yeah, no, I literally
have.
what do you think I'm fidgeting with?
That's crazy.
Oh my god,
Holy
dude.
shit.
So when I got into Vanquish,
broke. Don't say
so
that. Don't say that.
Okay.
For example, when I got into Vanquish,
he's fingering something.
there's a couple of broken guns in Vanquish that are DLC. And a lot of the interest in that game was around the category that involved those weapons. So that's where like a lot of interest went for a while. And then I was like, guys, why are we like neglecting the no DLC run? This like totally unoptimized record has been sitting here for like 3 years.
It's like
I'm just gonna go and beat it now. And so I did. And then everybody was all of a sudden just like
whoa, keep that shit to yourself.
Like, So then everybody was just like, oh, well, if Cosmic can beat the record, clearly it's not that good.
Damn.
You know? Well, I say this because it's happened to me before where I've beaten like a record in like DMC3 and then like 3 people immediately hopped on the train afterwards. And I'm like, man,
we can't let this guy be at the top of it.
We can't let this happen. This old man can't show us up with his like slightly higher than average blood pressure or whatever mine's at right now.
Well, you know, that's just tough.
But no, it's just really weird to me that like I think that if I were in Shift's position where I had a career out of the game, I don't feel like this is the longevity that he could gain from a discovery like this. And so I think that purely from like a content creation perspective and like a grinding perspective, I think that he stands to gain a lot more personally, you know, as well as for the community. He stands to gain a lot more personally if he sells this a lot harder. And
because the
if he
game's been
just ends up
stagnant
grinding
forever, right? Like he's been trying to get like a sub 40, but like who fucking cares? I mean, like he gets it, like cool, but like realistically,
I know you don't fucking care, but
I mean, but the thing is, like that is like a minor thing versus like here's a completely new way to play the game, right? And then we can grind this down. It's like infinite, and then he can come back to do the sub 40 after he.
I mean, dude, just look at the way the SpongeBob community is looking right now, because we just had a new discovery in that game that cut out the infamous driving level revisit that everyone famously says like, oh, this is like the most boring, stupidest shit. And like now a ton of people are getting back in and excited and grinding again. And like low-key, I don't even think I'm top 10 or top 12 anymore. And which, you know, I'm washed, but like still, right? It's like the community has a lot to gain too, is the thing. And I'm just saying, like, I'm just thinking from the perspective of like, obviously Shift has a lot of time in this game, right? I think it's like what, like 9 years at this point. Like he is married to that
10.
game.
Yeah.
You know, like 9 or 10. And that is obviously respect for putting that much time. I could not do that consecutively.
You don't
like
have to
that
respect.
that. Well, I mean, obviously
Actually,
you don't have to hand it to him all the time, but
it is
but
from
still,
somebody
being
that's
dedicated to a game
from
for
somebody
that
that's
long, especially not
for that
like
long,
a Mario 64 or something of that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it's kind of insane. I agree.
Yeah,
it is pretty insane, you know. And whether or not that's derogatory or complimentary, I guess, is up to the person saying it.
Buyer, you know, dealer's choice.
Yeah,
dealer's choice. But this was such an opportunity to like really get people excited about something in this game that otherwise, like Nestani said, has been stagnant. And I feel like as a leader of a community, that is such a ball drop, you know, because like even when something got found in DMC5 that was like a 30-second time save and it changed which character we played on a certain level, I was like, oh fuck, you know, like it is. If you want people to be excited about your game and to play it, you need to not take new discoveries as like a devaluing of what you've already done. It's just that people are encouraged to like explore the game.
Another thing, but go ahead.
Like I think to your point though, like I think to the like if you're a leader, you shouldn't just like shit on new things. And also, you shouldn't try to control whatever the board's narrative are. I have 2 different things to say about this because this is kind of what I did in Frights. Like, obviously, if people ask me, I'll give my opinion. But, like, when Creepy Early like was getting made to be like the main board. I obviously didn't want that. I still don't want that, right? But that's just my fucking opinion. But I wasn't going in the Discord typing away like blah, 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 and trying to get everyone to like corral around my opinion. I was just like, well, if this is what people want, like whatever. Because like again, to your point of walking away from a game, I'm like, I'm kind of just walking away from this game at this point. Like it's not the run that I like anymore. It's not the style of the run doesn't really align with me anymore. And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going in there shitting on, like, I was in Cole's chat when he was running, well, I guess this isn't about creepy early, but like.
You were in Cole's chat, but not shitting on.
Yeah, but like, for example, I misread his tournament as like a creepy early tournament. And I was like, wait, it literally wasn't. That was like the whole point of it was to not be, anyway.
Yeah,
that was just a missed sentence. Just wrong sentence inserted.
You're
but
good.
Like.
No worries.
Like when that discussion was going on, I didn't really partake in it, right? I voted. I said no, and I was the only person that voted no, right? You know what I mean? Or like maybe there was like one or two other people with me, but there was like 15, 20 that was like, have creepy really be the main thing. And I was like, whatever, word. And like, if I cared enough, I would just, you know, do like a week of runs and get back to third or second, but I don't, right? And like, also the thing is that like, shitting on that trick publicly doesn't help the community grow because guess what? A lot of more people have ran creepy early, you know, since that change has been made and since Cole was pushing it and Mortal's pushing it. And there's a lot of positive thing like, yeah, you should try creepy early. It's a cool trick. It's like the run's pretty short. Like the trick's not that bad, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't in there being like, no, this trick fucking sucks. You shouldn't do this. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And, you know, partially that is because like I have been a really big part of that community and I was one of the leaders for a long time. But like, I also know when it is time for me to shut the fuck up, right? Because I think I did a bad job of that in the whole hedge gate clip situation. Now, I still don't agree with the way, you know, I think both sides were wrong. On
that was
like,
messy.
Like, I will admit, I was definitely wrong on that. But also, them niggas were also wrong with it. We were all just like kind of toddlers in that situation, right? But to that being said, like, this go around, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that, right? And like, when you are a leader of community, you have kind of that responsibility of like, what is in the best interest? And I think in this situation, I think it's clear that the best interest is just to create another leaderboard. And then like, to your point, again, with Shift, like he is basically the sole proprietor ownership of that game, right? It's like him and no one else. Like, let's be like real, right? He doesn't really have any competition. No one's taking his viewers, right? It's like, it's like basically like Baz in the OG days, like just owning everyone on cooldown if you know frights at all, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like he stands so much to gain from just farming the viewers from the category and being like, yeah, this is fucking cool, let's fucking go, you know, because he's going to be the best at it because he's been playing the game nonstop for 10 years. So he's going to have the most viewerships. If he creates hype around it, he's going to have even more viewers than he normally does because then all the people on the fringes will come back to watch, oh, what's this new cool thing? And then, like, he's easily going to double his viewer count if he did it, right? And because he probably did that when he was doing, because he did some runs of it, right? He probably had higher viewership than usual.
Well, so this is the other funny thing is that, so when Mortal found the trick, apparently, because I was asleep during this time, Shift just ended stream and he streamed for like 8 hours. And then Mortal posted it. And Shift's first response in the Discord was, this came at a very inopportune time. And he didn't go to bed and he spent another like 20 hours just running that category. Yeah, he streamed it. And he's been doing a lot of streams like that. Like his viewership has doubled since this trick has dropped. And I agree with what you're all saying.
It's the thing that makes no sense because like he stands a lot to gain personally for it. And like, without speaking on his character at all, rarely for the first time this podcast, I'm going to ignore that. Like, as like a content creator, or someone that this is your whole time job, this is such an easy tap in for like an extra bag. You know what I mean? Like you just farm this for like a little bit, like, oh, fucking, like, you know what I mean? Buy yourself something nice, take a vacation, fucking, you know, save it, whatever. Like, you know, there's so many adaptations things just for himself personally that it doesn't even matter if he cares about the community at large and wants to grow it and blah, 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 blah. Like, who cares about that aspect of it? Like, if you're a selfish person, that should be enough, right? But, you know, there's this whole thing. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? But also, that's why I make the jokes I do on this podcast.
Yeah. The devastating thing too about this is, and why I haven't really said all that much is, this is not the first rodeo. Like, I've seen this all before, both with tricks as well as other games. Like when the SBA skee ball abuse trick got found, that basically lets you infinitely farm shinies, and because of that, buy spatulas instead of doing platforming spatulas. That got shit on really heavily. And, luckily now it's like in a lot of the routes and stuff, and I think it's made the game better. But it was the exact same kind of reaction and like same fucking story of like streaming the shit out of it, but also being real like fucking negative about it and being like, it's just, and that's not even going into the way he's like shit on the movie community. Like, for
that's a whole other discussion.
That's just a whole nother
that's a
fucking
whole other
can of
bag.
worms,
Yeah.
right? It's just, it's tough. And it's like, I've gotten to the point where I just feel like I've given up even talking about the guy or that situation. Cause it's like, I mean, part of it, like, I mean, if you even look at, like, I have no contact with the guy, and I honestly really just don't even bring him up these days unless there's something like this that happens, and then you can't really avoid talking about him. But it's just like,
especially when you have a loose cannon on your podcast.
That is true. My cock. Anyway, but
I was more interested in what Cole was kind of going into more rather than the shift topic, because I don't think it's that relevant to this conversation. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think I guess the last big thing to mention about, for me, like the BFBB thing is everybody immediately was like, dude, what is any percent going to be like? But then I'm also like, what is every category going to be like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's Hundo? Like, what are the rules for Hundo? Is Hundo just getting 100 spatulas or not? I assume it's probably not.
Hundo has always had a source requirement because there has been collectible duping already in a more limited form.
Okay.
So that's already kind of settled, I would guess.
And then there's all unique tasks, which I don't really know much about that category because I know that New Game Plus used to be that as well. And then there's also like the boss battle RTA things, and there's a whole kit and caboodle of things like that. And maybe in those categories, pause storage is like crazy cooler. Like, maybe because of like how they have to organize. I don't really know.
Yeah. It could be something like pause storage and like frights where like any percent it's kind of lame, but in something like Hundo or AMT, it becomes a lot cooler.
Yeah, AMT. Yeah, it's like, whoa.
I will say as well, the movie community has like a really interesting thing now too, and part of this is because of the developments that came about from actually messing with pause storage. Is that pause storage can do more than just resetting the level. In SpongeBob Movie, for example, can allow you to warp to levels you haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah,
which means you can route things in cooler, interesting ways. So there was this thing made called no level resets, which allows you to do pause storage, but not like reset the collectibles and dupe them and all that shit, right? So it became like this unique, really cool thing. And I don't even know if it's still a big thing nowadays, but even Bow for Bikini Bottom has had like runs of what's called like no cruise boost, where you're not allowed to do the cruise boost tech. And it hilariously enough, it plays a lot more like a SpongeBob movie run, but that's neither here nor there. But it's just like, I just think I'm just to see what happens. But sorry, I went on a tangent.
Yeah.
Back to
well,
you,
Cole. I mean, I don't have too much else to say that hasn't already been said, but I think the biggest like nail in the coffin is if they're gonna go with the decision that I heard on Shift Stream. I think the real thing that's killing this category is probably the fact that backwards compatible PS3 is allowed.
Yeah.
And so like when I heard that, I was like, I think so. Based really on the description that he was giving, but I think,
But also,
I don't know. It's weird how in
they can do what they want.
Exactly,
like,
it's their community.
Fuck it. You can run your community at whichever way you want. Whether
exactly
people like or whatever. It's really just up to what your community wants. You know what I mean? Rather than like what is technically or logically like acceptable or allowed from like the outsider's perspective. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just have to like eat that. You know what I mean? Like. Notorious like the hedge gate couple. I just ate that, and people still don't like the trick, and that's fine. You know what I mean? That's cool. We don't like it. It's dead. Like I don't care, right? You know what I mean? And so there's just some things like that where it's just like you just gotta let it be dead,
Yeah.
And
because it could be too that there are a lot more people than just Shift who are like, yeah, I don't really vibe with this, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Like,
But also, if you don't vibe it, that's fine. Pause storage, no pause storage. Just shove it down in the leaderboard. Fucking even make it a filter if you really care that much. But really, it should just be a tab. It should just be a tab where you land on any percent no pause storage, and that's the main landing page, like it is for a lot of Pokemon games where it's any percent glitchless is the landing page. Lunistis, any percent glitchless is the landing page. And then you can go to the real any percent or any percent pause storage or whatever, and it doesn't devalue that category because everyone sees that as the main category. Mario 64, 120 star is the main category on the board, even though technically any percent is 0 star. But everyone's 0 star is lame, 120 star cool. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's one of those things
you can still be
where...
no pause storage, battle for Bikini Bottom with the cruise boosting, all this shit. It's cool, so it's the main one. But you don't necessarily have to fuck on the other category. You know what I mean? You don't have to take a dump on it.
If anything, it should reflect, the landing page should reflect what the community is most active with, honestly. If you pick a category that just has a dead leaderboard, even though it's the standard any percent, that's such a throw. Because if people look at the leaderboard as their intro to what's going on, and people haven't run it in 5 years, then they're not going to play it. But if what everyone's doing is on another tab or hidden under a miss category, then it's well, shit, what a wasted opportunity to show people what the activity is.
I wonder if I'm very curious if the reaction to this trick would have been different if it happened either a little earlier or a little later. Because if Shift got the sub 40 in BFBB and then the trick got found, I feel like the whole attitude behind the trick being found would have been a lot different. Or even earlier, when they were grinding for lower times or whatever, or times that aren't sub 40 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it would have been different. So it really did just come at an inopportune time, I think.
And this is this is really when you can tell how
it's hard not to engage with this question without also bringing it back to harping on Shift again. So it's
I can.
To be fair, this can really. Yeah,
I can zoom out a little bit here
because
too.
it's when Creepy Early got found on Xbox. Granted, again, not 1-to-1 same thing, but that was happening when you and Snowy were grinding your times down, trying to get the sub 20?
So 25?
Yeah, that. Jesus Christ, it's a long time ago. But that's when Creepy Early was found during that time, right? While that was going on, and and it got segregated and whatever. But anyway, what were you gonna say, Cosmic?
Well, I was gonna say that whenever something big like this happens, it always stands to roll some heads, especially when it's part of a pretty competitive game or a pretty a game that's pretty much set in its ways at this point. Mm-hmm. It's not something that's small, that's more of an optimization. So I remember, I think it was a couple of years ago where they found crouch kicks in Titanfall 2. And that is something that saves you frames per time you do it. Now you do this a lot of times over the run, but that is very much a continuation or an evolution of what those runners were already doing. And those people are already into fucking sick movement tech. So, those are some of the most fucking
and they were just cool, more movement tech.
Yeah. So that is a distinctly different thing where it might have rolled some heads because people were probably oh, fuck, another thing that I gotta fucking do in this game that's already high APM. Yeah. But this is
taking a glass panel and then dropping it on a concrete surface from a roof and it shattering everywhere.
Is this the biggest trick found in the game, Jax? Because I'm not familiar with the
since cruise.
I would say probably.
Here's the thing, though. I will say, especially as time has gone on, and now that this sub 40 push has been happening, the whole narrative around BFBB being this hardcore movement game has over time just become more and more weird to me. Because it takes so long to get the fucking cruise bubble online.
Yeah.
And so, by the time that you get there, all of the new shit just makes stuff with the cruise boosting even faster. So to me, it's I don't always for something like a 100%, that narrative makes a bit more sense because you get online and then you have the entire back half of the game to go ape shit. And that's cool,
Yeah.
right? But like the thing of it, like for something more any percent is if like nowadays if you look at like the percentage of the run that has that tech versus the early and mid game leading up
It's
to
like
that,
less than half.
It's a lot more skewed, right? So it's like
Yeah.
if you really look at it from that kind of percentage, it's really not like as much fundamentally changing some aspects.
I mean, that's definitely true,
that's
but
why I
it's
said what
also
I said
cutting
about
out.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is cutting out like a large portion of like the game. It's cutting out a fourth of the game because now, it's down to sub 30 or whatever. And that is just like 25% right there. That is a huge like route change. That's a huge shift in like how everything goes.
Entire worlds are not going in.
Exactly. Well, and the same thing has happened in the past too with the SBA trick because you're able to basically dupe money as much as you fucking want. You basically buy 8 power stars and get them for free, and then you dupe another couple on top of that. So that's like 10 spatulas that used to be probably late game cruise boosty spatula. It's probably more complicated than that because routes for that game are fucking impossible to understand for me. But like, because it's a lot of it's like it's a lot.
I would wager
right?
that the time without that glitch, it was less than the time like without
pause storage.
Without pause storage, right?
It's the same. I see it as the same pattern, though. Right?
It is the same pattern, but like the longer people have to be set in their ways of like this is what the run looks like, then the more pushback you will inevitably have. Now, to give another example,
for what it's worth, there was a lot of pushback on this money dupe glitch, but I'll stop there.
I have a quick thing to say, but like I do think just to kind of yes and Cosmic real quick, I think a large reason why like for example Frights was stuck in its ways for a long time with like no creepy early, for example, for a long time. Obviously it got found on GameCube, and I think that is a very big thing, but also a lot of the old heads had stopped playing the game at that point, right? It was pretty much just me, Cole, and Mortal, right? We were basically the only 3 left, and we are new gen in comparison to that game with like a lot of the OG runners like Farrah, Baz, Summer, Ryan, you know what I mean? Like we ain't that. So like because they're not there anymore, it's easier to have that transition happen in the first place.
Because you don't have the burden of all those old like being stuck in your ways.
It's like the same thing happening in Mario 64 with the trying to cut out the
we were also
screen anyway.
And I think the weird thing, just a quick note, I think the weird thing about like us 3 in particular with that game as well is that when we joined, like everything was already changing all the time, so we were kind of used to it. At least for me, because then it was like we went from the like old route to then a gas route, and then a gas route went to like all that crazy shit,
and then real fishy skip, and then creepy.
Like this is the first time the speedrun's really been cemented. So
I think
it was cemented with No-C for a long time before Mortal found GameCube.
Well, true,
because that was settled for like 3 years or something. You know
the snack route was pretty much solved. Like that's like pretty
everything. Yeah. I mean, it's solved now again because Mortal is a genius. So like, you know what I mean? Like it's still solved, but.
And I'll say too as well, linking it back to battle, it's just like it's not like there haven't been advancements or really cool shit that hasn't been found, but the new shit is so fucking impossibly difficult that it's only only someone like Shift or some of the other handful of battle runners who come close can even perform it.
Fucking crazy cruise boosts where they like have to do it off a goddamn slope and then they just like propel off of sand mountain,
or have like a crate fall on their head at the right time as they do a frame perfect trick.
I forget what those are called.
Jesus,
the name always escapes me. But
Cosmic, you were gonna say something.
Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say
you collectively.
No, it's fine. I've come to accept it. This is my lot in life. So.
If Cosmic got the world record, shit, we could do it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Cosmic can talk for 5 minutes. Watch me talk for 6. You know, like. So, I mean, it also kind of depends, right, on the community itself too, like how this actually like affects people that have a sort of set route to work with. Because when Dirge of Cerberus had its big breakthrough with zoom climbs, that is something that kind of just turned the entire game on its head, and now everybody had to go, well, how the fuck do we think of like routing in this game now? Like, because we have to still get a good gun to kill everything in the late game, but what can we actually skip? What is, what does skipping past certain parts of the game even mean now? But at the same time, all the people that were involved in understanding that were people that were like scientists of the game that also just kind of happened to run it. The only like person that was like purely a runner really was like Dynamite Dan. Like City Hall was kind of involved in like exploring the game as well, but he was also pretty much just like a straight up execution runner. But Dan never really had much hand in like routing it. A lot of that was NT, and a lot of that was also like Gosu Comeback, who hid world record strats for a while until they had it. And then
cringe.
Also,
who would do that?
And then Shademp, who is like the Dirge encyclopedia. Now, Shademp, when they found the Zoom climb stuff, that could have just caused everybody to be like, no, we want to keep doing no major glitches. Like, we just want to keep playing the game. The game's already so optimized. Like, runs at that point were down to like quite literally for a while. There was like a 2-second difference in the world records for Dirge, for like between first and second.
Nice.
And the whole game getting like 15 minutes of time save suddenly overnight could have made people like, you know what? No, fuck this. We want to just fuck this whole thing. This seems like a lot of work. It's a lot to mash, like whatever. But like, no, pretty much everybody was on board with it. Right. And it was a handful of us that were just kind of like, how do we think about the game now? And, I wasn't as much involved with that outside of like periphery stuff and like just trying things. Because I was one of the few that had like a turbo controller, so I could actually check if things worked like pretty reliably.
With turbo.
But yeah, with turbo. But it was just like, it was a very clear indicator that like everybody was there to explore the game and not simply to like just do the run. People were there to understand the game, and whatever the game became at that point, we knew it was probably going to be cooler. Mm-hmm. Now, to the credit of Dirge of Cerberus over Battle for Bikini Bottom, which is not a sentence I think has ever been uttered in history up until this point, Dirge of Cerberus lost 2 turret sections and like one other really whack section. It lost like a couple of pretty lame sections, and those are the ones that got cut. Yeah. Now, I don't really to your point too, Jaxler, is that like now more of those cruise boosting sections are gone. So the sections of Battle for Bikini Bottom that are being lost are like significantly less lame than what Dirge of Cerberus lost.
It's like the fun parts of the game are being lost, pretty much.
Yeah, the fun parts of the game that are gone.
The top players,
the fun.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I could see why there is a little like inherently more pushback, but I think it's also important for them to say, you know what, guys, let's explore this, let's see what comes of it, and then if everybody just wants to go back to no pause storage, like we can totally do that. Nothing's fucking written in stone, man. Like I remember when somebody found like, or when like new patches for Stranger of Paradise came out, and I was still modding the boards for that, and other stuff was kind of being found. I was like, look, guys, I'm going to write the rules, but we don't got to like adhere to them like to the ends of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Like
we can make this shit up actually.
Yeah, it's just arbitrary. Like there was tech that got found by Blue Harvey, I think it was, where you have to repeatedly click L3 or R3 so your character just like steps, and activates sprint immediately, and it saves like 5 minutes or something
R3
across the course of the run.
Yeah, when you push down on the stick.
you click the stick. Yeah,
you basically do like your palm down at that point. Pop, pop, pop.
Like when that happened, I was like, okay, so if people are cool with doing this, we'll do it. But like, let me know, And then I ended up leaving the boards for the game, so I think they just kind of rolled with it. And people are just like people just like doing it, I guess. But if people had said to me like, "Hey, Cosmic, I want us to all like have the ability to remap fucking whatever function to L3 and then make it so that the sprint button is R1 using like Steam mapping or the quick like PlayStation mapping," I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I think that's totally fine. Whatever benefits the run, whatever benefits like what the people that are pushing the game want to do.
What makes it more fun or more engaging or want people
exactly.
to keep playing.
Now, again, we run into the conversation. Like, now the counterpoint to that is, well, Cosmic, this one guy is the one that's pushing the game. So you could argue that it is up to him, but it's also up to everybody else that maybe is interested in the run from here on out as well.
Or people who might not know they're interested yet.
It's true, yeah, absolutely. If you don't give like something room to breathe, like, then it's just not going to happen. It is like quite literally a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where if the category goes dead and you go, look, nobody was interested anyway, but you spent like the entire month choking the shit out of it.
Setting it up for
exactly. And I will say, too, like the landing page, people I think underestimate the power of that. Every category could be active, but if the category that you land on is the category that everybody likes anyway, like, people will just run that. People will just run whatever's on the landing page usually.
Dude, literally, like the first thing, no one even like told me this. I just figured it out naturally. This is like one of the first things I figured out in speedrunning. I was like, whatever I land on, that's the main category. That's the one people care about. I'm going to run that. Every single time, because Jax would be like, what if you ran this game in this category, like when he was trying to get me to branch out to new games, and he would be like, what about this category? And I'm like, oh, that's not the main category, I don't want to do that. And he was like, what? And I'm like, I want to do the one I care about, because I want to be the best at the thing that people care about, you know what I mean? At that time, I don't have that feeling anymore, but like, I was like, if it's not the main one, if the main category, if I land there and that run sucks, I'm not doing it. I don't care if the rest of the game's cool, you know what I mean?
This is how I judge a speed game. I go to the landing page, check out the world record run, and I'm done. Bye.
That is what I do.
No,
that's what I do.
That's what I do. That's what most people do that aren't into speedrunning.
This is also why, like, in games, like, I mean, again, I bring up Devil May Cry, but like all of the different character categories in Devil May Cry 4 are all interesting in their own way. But it took years for people to explore Virgil and then Lady and Trish as much as Nero and Dante had been explored, because guess who you see when you land on the leaderboard? Nero and Dante. And to be fair, that is the coolest category in the game, and I don't think it's close. Okay. But there's a reason that it took a while for those characters to get caught up, because people that were playing the game a lot were like, you know what? Actually, these characters are also fun. So let's optimize them more now. But it took years. It took a while. So it just is what it is, right? So if you really think that, the category can't live on its own, just put it on even the second, or put it on the 5th tab, bro. I guarantee already 5% of people are going to click on that 5th tab.
True.
Maybe not guarantee 5, but a significantly reduced amount of people will click on that like 5th tab.
And also
and
the
then
thing
you'll
too
win, bro,
is that if
or
the
whatever.
run is actually the coolest one, it will grow even if you bury it, right? And that's the thing too, because like if you think about, we're gonna bring up everyone's favorite game, Mario 64. 120 star is the main category, and so when people care about the most. But what the most popular one? It's 16 star. Right. Yeah. That's the one with like 4,000 runs on it. You know what I mean? That's the one that everyone plays. That's like everyone and their mom has played a 16 star. Because that's like the most fun category to run.
Except for 3 of us. Actually, I don't think any of us have done a 16.
None of us have. But you know what I mean? Like that's the thing, is that even if that's buried in another tab,
because we have good taste,
people are like, that's still the one people run. People don't run 120. But also when you think about like who are the Mario 64 goats, like. Green Luigi had a bunch of records. When he got 120, he was the GOAT, right? Before he got 120, no one gave a fucking shit. Everyone was like, oh my God, this guy's kind of cracked. But like, realistically, like at the high level, once he got the main one, then people cared. But also, that doesn't diminish like being 16-star world record. That's still insane. You know what I mean?
That is still fucking insane.
But yeah, any final thoughts on this battle stuff? Because we talked about this the whole podcast.
I did not think
that was going to be possible.
Yeah. So guys, I have. Wait, are we done? I have an announcement to make. If we're done.
Oh, go for it. Announcement time.
You're now running Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I am now running Battle for Bikini Bottom. People have been saying it.
That's my goat. Let's go, dude.
I need people to look in the voice chat. This is the announcement.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, what?
Live reaction from Delaware Cosmic and Jaxler.
Hang on.
Oh,
What is this? Like,
is that what I think it means?
This is a really bright anus, isn't it?
No, it's not. That would be fire if it was. That should be what it is. No, guys.
Holy shit.
That's when I bleach my butthole.
What is this, bro?
This is
What
Cole's
the fuck
asshole.
is happening?
Wait, so
On Friday.
No, dude, this is
Okay.
No,
Wait.
hold on. This is POV my forehead, bro. Like this is what this is.
Kind
Like,
of, because it is the
shining
sun.
off my forehead.
It is the
bro.
sun.
Yeah.
I pointed my
call me
camera
that.
directly
They
at the
don't
sun.
do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people, and all the other niggas that don't associate with either of those three things for whatever reason, me and Cole, good pitch.
What a great pitch.
Yeah, me and Cole did a challenge where we tried to make an album in 30 days. We failed. We made an EP in 30 days instead. We got a 5-track EP. It is out right now. When you are watching this podcast, it is up. It is available to listen to. We are called By the Gram. And if you know, you know. And if you don't, it's called By the Gram. And the EP is called Midnight Sun, and you can watch it now. We have a music video. It is dropped now. It'll be linked below. Me and Cole made a music video for it. And then
sick.
Also the whole playlist with the whole EP will be up. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on all the bullshit. You can find it By the Gram Midnight Sun EP. Okay? Go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm so fucking excited.
At least I think it's good.
That's pretty tight.
I'm proud. I'm just
dude.
fucking proud of y'all too. That's so sick.
Yeah,
like
good
that's
shit,
just
dude.
so cool. Like
pretty
shucks.
fucking
you made a
sick,
thing and like actually finished it and released it.
Yeah, this is what
I mean,
I've been doing
that's
for the
such an
past couple
achievement.
months.
You have no idea.
If you've been
Yeah.
wondering why I haven't been
Yeah.
speedrunning, this is what I have been doing. I've been mixing this album
And if you
relentlessly.
wonder why I haven't posted a video, that's also doesn't. But yeah,
check it out.
I mean, ball drop for not calling me the album diversity quota, but like Midnight Sun's also cool, I guess.
It's called Midnight Sun, and we'll talk more about the album next week. We'll go into the whole like how we made it, all the stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it to be out. I think it's good. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And does anyone else have anything
weird.
else to say?
I will be checking it out. Dude, does
I
anybody have?
guess
I was
I'll-
gonna launch, but what up?
Yeah, I was
Go
just gonna say since I guess we're plugging stuff still. I'll be
Yeah,
on
go for it.
GDQ Hotfix on Saturday at like 10 p.m.
Gaming.
playing Vex, and then I think I'm doing
Hella
another
gaming.
thing on the Fast Paced Events channel around the same time, but on Friday for Soul Reaver. So you'll see
Sick.
it'll be on my B Sky. So
Hell yeah.
But honestly, like go check out the album or the EP. Sorry.
True. Hey, album EP, same thing.
I'm so used to like
It's just not. It's just
calling
not technically an album because it's a 5-track EP. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a
it's just
5-track EP.
we've talked about it like off the record for so long, calling it the album. It's just the muscle
Yeah.
memory is getting to me.
Yeah.
Facts.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Delaware, the entire state.
I'm running Vanquish again. I'm doing the no DLC category because I've been trying to improve my time for SGDQ submissions. I've already dropped PB by like 2 minutes. And I only have like 2 minutes and some change before record. So maybe I get that, maybe I don't.
And I've been typing.
But
in this
it's been
chat.
fun. It's been fun going back to that game. So if you want to see me actually grinding for a good time in something instead of like running a game that nobody else has ever ran, then you can always tune into that. You know, a game
Love
where
seeing the
there's
boys
actually
grind.
like competition. Yeah, that's what's going on with me. I don't really have anything else. I'm done with Ninja Gaiden 4 for a little bit because that run is just way too fucking long, dude.
3 hours of pain, bro.
We gotta cope
3
for the
hours
2
later,
Masters DLC to be like under an hour, bro. Otherwise, that
God.
game is cooked for GDQ submissions, dude. Like, that's rough. I got other ideas, but I'm just hoping hard for that.
He bought this
and
new
also
computer for
Fatal
no
Frame 2
reason. This
remake.
fucking sucks, bro.
Oh no, I got a bunch of hours out of that too, bro. We're still good. We're all right.
He's like, I still got to play the game. The game was fun, but speedrun.
Also, now that I get more FPS in Vanquish consistently, I can do better strats. So that's pretty tight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's pretty sick. Hell yeah. But yeah, that's it for me.
Alrighty.
Also, I got this cool jacket. So yeah,
Hey, I got
pretty
this
tight.
cool jacket.
That is pretty tight.
Yeah.
I like
kinda
that.
like
I
Go
can't
listen
tell
to
what
the
it is,
EP.
but it's
You person.
Go
in
listen to the EP.
camera that I'm
It's
looking at.
probably
Yeah.
not as good as Knock Loose, but it is pretty good. So
there you go. Yeah,
It's like Nickelback.
yeah.
It's
Shift. Go listen
nothing
to the
like-
EP.
Not like that at all.
It's not like the
Just goodbye. Go listen to the album. We'll talk
Get
about it
outta
next
here.
week.
Bye.
Go away.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Look at this